riffs are too repetitive, the lyrics make no sense. All the songs are B-sides and the cover art's a mess. There's so much here to tear apart. Listen to it for a week, now that week has passed. Here's Why I Hate This Album podcast with Tim and Garrett.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Why I Hate This Album. I am one of your hosts, Garrett Harvey. With me, as always, dark web to my deep state, co-host extraordinaire, Timothy Richardson. Tim, how you doing, buddy?
So very disappointed in you, Garrett.
God damn it. Why?
Well, as you know, and as the listeners and obviously the viewers know, I listen to the song and I write all my notes, I compose all relevant theories, I solidify any accusations before looking into the history of the artist in any regard. And with this specific pick this week, I feel like you tried to trick me into saying and writing something just absolutely monstrous, likely in an attempt to get me canceled by what Gino has increasingly been referring to as the radical left, and I don't appreciate it.
Well, okay, you can belie some of your fears. Obviously, I knew you were going to do the research. You'd have figured it out eventually. If anything, all I did was keep you occupied for a few hours while I wrapped some goddamn presents.
Oh.
Yeah, while you redid all your notes.
I mean,
while you demonstered your notes.
I didn't completely demonster them, to be clear.
Perfect. Great. That's what I like to hear.
I tempered.
Okay. That's all anyone can ask. Temper. What song have we been listening to for an entire week straight?
We have been listening to the 1986 single, We Don't Need To, ... aka We Don't Need to Take Our Clothes Off, by Jermaine Stewart.
We need to get a title check on that, Gino.
Stewart.
Title check on that? Hold on, Tim. Gina? Okay, yeah, it is actually, we don't have to take our clothes off. Not need.
Not in Britain.
Really?
I don't know.
Oh, anyway, Tim, after an entire week with Mr. Jermaine Stewart, I'm very curious. Do you hate this song?
Oh my, no, Garrett. This song is not great. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. And it is fascinating. The 80s were a really weird time. This one is interesting enough that you can't hate it. I think. We'll see. We'll see. What about you, friend? Do you hate this song?
Oh, heck no. Big old H-E-C-K, no. Not for all the reasons you just said. Plus, it's a jam. You get your feet moving. Now, obviously, we have a very strict a lot of dancing rules here at the World Headquarters, but I dare anybody to keep their feet from moving listening to this song.
Let me tell you something, Garrett. For every rule you make about my dancing, I bring in Kevin Bacon for 1 hour.
What, like a carbon offset? A bacon offset?
Oh no, it's just to torture you, and because I know that he's on my side vis-a-vis the dancing.
Oh sure.
He's my backup, my dance backup. My backup dancer. There it is.
He's your pinch dancer.
He does pinch everyone while he dances. It's uncomfortable.
Anyway, enough besmirching Mr. Bacon. You don't hate it. I don't hate it. I doubt I'll get there. Sounds like you're leaving the door open. We'll see. Prior to this week, Timbo, what is your history with Mr. Stewart, and more specifically, this song?
Very little. I have definitely heard this before. It's in movies I have seen, TV shows. It's in Zack and Miri Make a Pornog most recently, I think. But I have very little memory of this song. I have no memory of 1986, unlike, of course, Garrett, fresh out of high school and singing this song at the top of his lungs while working his first job at J&M Steel Company in Fort Worth, Texas, the year of this release. Sorry, I'm getting into your history now. Your steel working history while singing Jermaine Stewart. What about you, friends? Would you like to deny any of the things that I just said?
Yeah, none of that happened. I mean, it happened, but the timing is all wrong. Yes, I was a steel worker in the 80s. Not 86. 89. I was 6.
Your father was a real monster.
I had a real future. Anyway, same question, I guess. Pretty much the same answer. I probably was a little more familiar with it than you. I had seen the music video, not recently, but I'd seen it. And then, of course, we all know the first line of the chorus. Then the rest of it gets a little less memorable, but, hard to forget the themes of this song.
I feel like with the music video, I felt like I'd seen it, but I don't know that I ever have. I think it's very similar to a lot of different things. It was, or at least it seems like something that Family Guy might have played in full at some point.
Yeah, it's no Conway Twitty, but I'd watch it. Okay, you have virtually no history. I have virtually no no history, and I gotta say, when I recommended this song, I really didn't know the full extent of the history we're about to reveal, and it is going to put a bit of a wet blanket on things. We're going to try our very best to overcome it while still remaining very respectful. As we always do, we are all about nuance here on the show, so Tim, take us on a journey, help us understand who is Jermaine Stewart, and how did We Don't Have to Take Our Clothes Off come to be?
Well, Garrett, as you said, this one is going to get tragic. It's complicating my thoughts on the lyrics of this song, so I'm warning you guys ahead of time. Hang on to your dicks.
I don't know if this is a hang on to your dick situation.
I think it might be. William Jermaine Stewart was born a weird-looking baby to Ethel and Eugene Stewart in Columbus, Ohio in 1957. You're laughing. Why are you laughing?
What do you mean he's a weird-looking baby?
Garrett, I do the history. I looked up those baby pictures.
My goodness, you are thorough. I would argue most newborn babies look funny.
He was weird looking for a baby.
Oh my God. Continue. Slanderous baby talk.
He is one of 5 kids. His parents moved to Chicago in 1972, and that is pretty much all the interwebs wants us to know about his childhood. However, in 1977, at 19 or 20, Stu, should we call him, no, Germ. Germ was on Soul Train as a dancer, where he met Jody Watley and Jeff Daniels. Now, I did not do any additional research, but I feel comfortable in Gino's research, who said that it is in fact the Jeff Daniels you are thinking of, as
Detroit's
well
Jeff Daniels,
as a Nigerian Idol series judge and friend of Jim Carrey. That's what the notes say. Gino did.
We'll go with it.
That part of the notes. Anyway, the Soul Train moved to LA, and the producers put together an R&B group called Shalamar. I like the name of that. Shalamar. Jeff, Jody, and Germ all auditioned. Jeff and Jody got the job, along with Gary Mumford, the original Mumford, who was on lead vocals, but Germ did not. So he just sort of became a dancer for them and toured. Just kind of toured with them dancing.
What do you do? I dance.
Yeah, well,
I want to sing, but right now I just dance.
Right. He did apparently do some background vocals at some point, at least live, because in London, Mikey Craig of Culture Club fame saw him and decided he was a good singer. He must have been a backing vocalist. Or possibly he saw him like singing in the bathroom or something.
Yeah, I don't know. It's tough to say where those two could have run into each other. All sorts of locations, I assume.
Unclear what you mean. Anyway, Mikey helped him put together a demo and also got him to back up on at least one of their songs. That got him a contract with Arista Records as a solo act. In 1984, he released the album and single The Word Is Out, both of which did pretty okay. Got him to tour.
Never heard of it.
No one has. In 1986, he released Frantic Romantic, which I will argue is an excellent title for an album. And that featured the song of the week, We Don't Have to Take Our Clothes Off, which isn't a great name for a song if you're a touring musician trying to get laid. But maybe he isn't. I don't know.
More on that in a bit.
Yes, that album also had a song called Jody about Jody Watley, and disappointingly, that was a song about his friend Jody. It wasn't like a diss track, which, again, if I have a song on a post-Texas Toast solo album called Garp, I guarantee you it will not be a positive recollection of our time together. So I guess Germ is a better man than I am.
Wow, love that you settled on Germ. You always manage to find the worst possible version of a nickname. 2, I hate that we have not even released a hip-hop country duo album as Texas Toast, which is due any day now. And you're already thinking about your post-Texas Toast solo career.
Right. I mean, listen, you're clearly do you want to be Lennon or McCartney?
Oh,
you're the George Harrison. How about that? Everyone
That's
likes
really
George.
Nice of you.
Yeah.
That's super nice of you.
You're the George, and I'm the Lennon-McCartney combo.
Wait, no, you've given yourself all of the credit for the songs now. Right. I'm the guy that everybody tells to go sit in a corner and stop pouting.
Yeah, but in his defense, he came up with the best post-Beatles album.
That's true, but the Beatles albums.
Right, my point is, I'm going to have an outsized influence.
Let me just rephrase what you said. I've never really thought of myself as a Lennon or McCartney, but rather more of a Lennon and McCartney.
Right.
Really an amalgamation of both of their best skills and talents.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Go ahead. Yeah, I think no one here disagrees. Go ahead, Mr. Lennon McCartney.
All right. In 1988, he released Say It Again. In 1989, Germ released What Becomes a Legend Most. That second album did not do well. That one also kind of had some songs that appear to be either anti-nudity or possibly anti-sex, including When Sex Becomes a Religion and For My Money, Every Woman Wants to. He didn't seem to like women. Well, I shouldn't say that. He doesn't seem to like the company of women. He also did Hot and Cold for the Weekend at Bernie's soundtrack, which is objectively pretty cool.
Yeah, let's just go ahead and say that's impossible to make fun of.
Yeah. In 1991, Stu recorded an album called Set Me Free for Reprise Records. I say recorded because this album has never actually been released. The eponymous single was released. It sold very poorly. I guess they'd already made a bunch of cassettes for sale in 1992, but the record company withdrew it before it ever went on sale. There's still some copies floating around if you're so inclined and have some sort of Tor browser like Garrett uses. You can find some.
Why do you insist on putting personal information out into the public?
Why do you insist on having a browser that prevents any of your personal information from being released to the public?
Because I don't like targeted advertising, and I don't appreciate the fine people of AT&T having access to my bank information.
That's true. Garrett does not like targeted advertising, and he has a hand grenade selling business on the internet. Find the hand grenades.
I don't.
Sure. Yes.
Do I have a financial interest in an online hand grenade sales company? Sure. There's nothing wrong with that.
We have just buckets of hand grenades sitting around this room.
Hey, man.
Anyway.
That's not the same as what I said.
It sure isn't. In the mid-90s, Germ began working on another album to be titled Believe in Me, but that was not finished, Garrett, because unfortunately, and this is tragic, prepare yourself for tragic, this is not funny, in 1997, at age 39, Germ died of what Wikipedia describes as, and I'm quoting here, AIDS-related liver cancer. Wikipedia also wants me to know for some reason that no one put a headstone on his grave for a full 17 years until 2014 when an anonymous fan bought him one. Now, Garrett, I know I said I wasn't going to do this. I know.
Come on, man.
I know.
Hey.
But listen, the world should know. The world should know.
They don't,
As it turns
I don't
out,
sanction this.
Garrett is the hero of this story. Garrett was that fan. Garrett bought that headstone.
Well, now it feels gross.
Le face.
And a disappointed Shia LaBeouf to you, too. But I do appreciate you doing the hard work.
I want to say, before the viewers can see this, the listeners obviously can't, Garrett Harvey is now holding a hand grenade.
Would you chill on the hand grenade talk?
I would like you to chill on the hand grenade action. I will chill on the talk if you'll chill on the action.
These are paperweights, Tim. These are simply novelty paperweights.
Right, but it's a live grenade.
Novelty live grenade.
Fair enough.
Learned that from that smoke shop we used to live near. Just got to put the word novelty in front of it. You're good to go. Novelty hand grenade.
Fair enough.
Paperweight, child's toy.
It's not a child's toy. Do not buy these for your children. Oh my God.
Anyway, like I said, they're not even mine. I'm just holding them for a friend. I have a financial interest in an online hand grenade salesman.
Okay.
Tim, I'm contributing to the community. I met a very nice man on the subway, and he had a predicament. He had a really good deal on wholesale hand grenades, but didn't have the financing. I said, hey, pal, I got a lot of untraceable cash and digital currency. How can we work together?
Now, let me ask you this. The other man you met that had the almost entirely inverse problem, the man that had a woman who needed to be exploded, but no hand grenade, how did he feature into this?
Listen, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Fair enough. Let's listen to this song.
Cue it up, Gino.
Pretty sexy, right? It's look. I attribute most of the sexiness to Randy Jackson's bass synth. He's a sexy man. That's a sexy instrument. It forces this to be a sexy song.
The synth is by Randy Jackson?
He's playing on it, yeah.
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah. Randy the Animal Jackson.
You did say that. I wish I didn't put two and two together as to who that was at the time. Well done, Timmy. Maybe that, you know what? I give you a slightly more hearty. Yeah, actually, I'm not going to upgrade that Shia LaBeouf. I'm not going to upgrade it because you keep talking about my hand grenades. And again, they are not my hand grenades. I want to make that crystal clear. Not mine. Holding them for a friend.
Right, holding them for a future customer, right? You're just a middleman.
I do not sell hand grenades. That is important to say. You've made that important to say. Listen, you know what? Rest of the episode, we're not even going to say it. Well, if you have to mention them, call them handies, okay?
I'm into this.
Don't be childish.
I am going to buy 3 handies from you.
I don't sell handies, Tim. I finance a guy who sells online handies. Oh, this is worse. All right, let's get back to the song. We can talk about my handies later. Pretty good, musically.
Yeah, this is a perfect encapsulation of the 80s. Everything that is 80s is in this song. The beats, the
Absolutely.
synth. We'll get to the music video.
Yeah, it's a treat. This is sort of a production team that's keenly aware of what Prince has done and an artist that's very much grown up mimicking Michael Jackson. And here we are.
Yep. Weirdly, this was not written by him. I don't know. I couldn't find out. Do you know, was it written for him specifically?
Oh, good question, because he does seem to really take ownership of the message.
Yeah. But I couldn't tell. Like, it's written by Naranda, Michael Walden, and Preston Glass. But I wasn't sure if it was when they wrote this, if they were picturing this guy. I mean, no one's probably, I will say this, we'll get to it when we get to the music video, but I don't think anyone's actually ever completely picturing Jermaine.
No, it's hard to. You know who he kind of looks like? I swear to God, this just occurred to me. You know who he actually truly kind of looks like? You're not going to get it at first, but you're going to be excited when I say it.
Maybe you should just say it then. Don't say me. Don't say me. I will slap your face if you say me.
So eager, then so not. No, your buddy Dave Cat.
Oh, he does look exactly like Dave Cat.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that guy didn't like sex with women either.
Not
that
exactly.
Guy liked sex with...
novelty paperweights.
Right? Yep, that's fair.
Novelty women.
Yeah.
I mean, that might be what you'd call them. That's what sex stores call them, novelties. Yeah, so this guy, Dave Cat, was married to a plastic silicon woman.
Well, he also had a plastic silicon girlfriend who he was cheating on
right.
this. What, this is My Strange Addiction, or...
We watched a lot of shows about Dave Cat. We fell into the Dave Cat pool and did not get out for days.
Yeah, I mean, you can't. He just keeps pulling you down.
Yeah, the introduction of the girlfriend, the side piece, also an inanimate object.
The brilliant part is mentioning the jealousy.
Oh, yeah. They did not get along. God, folks, seek out Dave Cat. Dave Cat, seek out this show. We want to. We are huge fans, and just have. I'm literally made of questions right now.
Listen, and I'm going to say this, and I think you're going to think it's harsh at first, but I want you to really consider what I'm saying.
Okay.
If Dave Cat would agree to be my permanent co-host, I will explode Garrett. Now, think about it before you get mad. Think about a show that features me and Dave Cat.
I do love that.
We're both. So I've got a box of novelty things. He's got 2 novelty things. We're just mixing it up. Whatever happens, happens.
Okay, here we go. I can be mature. Some might say mature. Today we'll say mature. Mature enough to acknowledge, yes, that's a better show. I want that show. Let's make that show happen.
Right. I'm saying.
However, I'm not done. Let me around the corner. Not done. There's a part B. But here's the problem. And this is where I need you to put on your mature hat. Take off that giant cowboy hat. Put on a mature hat for just a second. And here's what you have to realize. I am the rudder that keeps this boat off the rocks. And I just don't see Dave Cat stepping in to make sure that this ship runs on time.
Oh, 100%, Garrett. I would love for you to stay on as our producer. I'm just saying, if the only way...
that is insulting.
You could be like the Jermaine to our, whatever that band was called. The point is, Garrett, I'm just saying that if the only way he would do it is if I exploded you, I'm just saying, like, I think in that situation, we have to take him up on it.
Okay, hold on. You've asked me to really accept a lot very quickly. First, I'm being replaced on the show. Second, I'm being demoted to producer, which I guess you're likening to Murray from Flight of the Conchords, if I got your 6-word reference correct.
Oh, no, sorry. I meant you're like the Jermaine to Dave Cat and my Shalimar.
Wait, Oh.
Right, so you're just basically just dancing in the background. Eventually, somebody will give you your own show.
Oh, I've got to start listening during the history.
Funnier when you don't, because I got some shocking things to say if you weren't listening during the history.
I'm half listening.
Fair enough.
Anyway, okay, we did get into the song, Tim, and I actually think it's somewhat important for us to reveal one more fact about Jermaine Stewart that you sort of glossed over, but people might have already put together.
Go ahead.
This was an openly gay man at a time that was not really cool.
Sure. And look,
normally we wouldn't even mention it, but it matters in this instance because it does factor into the interpretation of the song.
Sure. And I mean, because part of my thought process was he had to be openly gay.
Mm-hmm.
Just
look at him.
Right.
Is that rude?
But here's the counterpoint to that. Prince.
Oh, you know what? You're 100% right.
Like if you don't know anything about Prince, you just see Prince walking down a street in like 1986 Minneapolis, you're gonna assume that man's a homosexual. And again, nothing.
Yeah, and nothing wrong with that.
Okay.
But no, you're right. We shouldn't just presume it by looking at him. And like I said, normally it doesn't even come up on the show, but somewhat important in this case because there does seem to be a severe aversion to romantic, intimate contact.
With women.
That's right.
Yeah. So before we get into the song, he gave I think sort of a retrospective analysis of what he thinks this song is about. Again, he didn't write it, but being interviewed in 1988, he said, I think it made a lot of people's minds open up a little bit. We didn't want to just talk about clothes. We wanted to extend that. We wanted to use the song as a theme to be able to say, you don't have to do all the negative things that society forces on you. You don't have to drink and drive. You don't have to take drugs early. The girls don't have to get pregnant early. So which is a weird thing to say. So the clothes
all of it's weird.
So the clothes bit of it was to get people's attention, which it did, and I'm glad it was a positive message. Here's the thing. This song appears to be the story of a guy who is biding his time, who is putting up some roadblocks. Lots of ladies want to have sex with this man, and he's stalling. He's delaying because he's trying to come up with a second excuse of why he's definitely not going to do that.
Sure, that's the simplest read of the song.
Sure.
But as we know, and why we said it up front, at the time, openly gay man.
Sure. But
shouldn't need to be making up those lies.
Yeah, but the other thing is maybe women still were trying to have sex with him. You know, he's a
yeah. But then wouldn't you just scream like, I don't like your vagina?
Maybe he was just very polite.
Entirely possible. You know, a lot of people are more polite than that to scream, I don't like your vagina.
Yeah, he seems like a nice man. Like, again, everything that I, have read about him, everything that I can tell about him, he seems very pleasant.
Yeah, not a jackass, like nice dude, super respectful, didn't find any weird stories about him being a creep at all, which is very rare in this industry. So well done, Jermaine Stewart, taken from this world far too soon.
Yes.
Fucking 80s, man.
Anyway.
The end of anonymous, promiscuous sex.
Well, I think we're coming back around.
Yeah, we really are.
Once COVID's done and yeah.
Now, Tim, I managed to cobble together a couple of sounds likes, and they're going to be songs that you've heard but don't know the names of the artists, but I'll say them anyway.
All right. Maybe somebody listening will.
Yep. That's why I thought of it. You got Rockwell. They sing the song, I Always Feel Like Somebody's Watching Me.
I've never heard
it. You've definitely heard it.
Maybe.
Though. It sounds a lot like Michael Jackson, but isn't. DeBarge, Rhythm of the Night.
Yeah.
To the beat of the rhythm of the night.
You don't need to sing that one. We all know the rhythm of the night.
The rhythm of the night. Good stuff. Those are the only two I came up with. But, etc. The early dance R&B fusion of what is this, 86?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is before it became a little more aggressive and sexual, and certainly not sexual in this one. Although we'll see. I argue it might be. Oh, did you listen to both versions of the song?
No.
Well, there's a short version.
Oh.
There's a single version, and then there's it might be the frantic romantic version.
I don't think I listened to a short version.
Well, I don't think you did either. Otherwise, you would have said, hey, not all the lyrics are in this song. The shortened version, the one that was on the radio all the time, doesn't have his soliloquy.
Oh.
You want to drink my cherry wine?
Yeah.
Or whatever the fuck he says.
Yeah,
that's not in the song
sexual.
On the radio. Yeah, that part it gets pretty sexy, but I don't want to jump ahead. Mostly, though, a good time. I don't mind listening to this song.
Yeah,
cool.
No, this is one of those it's clearly very much of a time, and it's a time that is not my favorite in the history of music. However, it hits all the beats, right?
It's a perfect time capsule of what music was at this moment.
Right.
Yeah, and to be clear, I love this era of music.
Oh, we know. Singing this while you're working at that goddamn steel mill.
Finest 6-year-old foreman that mill ever saw. Anyway, let's get into it, Tim. Song begins. Not a word from your lips. You just took for granted that I want a skinny dip. A quick hit, that's your game, but I'm not a piece of meat. Stimulate my brain. So right up top, before we go any further, she came in, didn't say a word, took her clothes off, and jumped into either a pool or lake. Is that what we're picturing?
Yes. Or possibly some sort of bathtub or jacuzzi.
Oh, okay. I like that. Like a good jacuzzi.
You do love the coos. Is that what we're saying?
Well, I'm not sure if you and I said the same word. I heard the coos part, but that's not what I said.
Oh.
Jacuzzi.
Right. Jacuzzi.
Jacuzzi.
French for the cues.
French for the jacuzzi, I believe. Anyway, it's not. Check your dictionary. So he's furious that she didn't attempt to stimulate his brain. And already I'm confused.
Right. Well, so because you are the exact opposite of this. You are somebody who wants...
Straight to the dick.
Right. He wants to be romanced. He wants to be wined and dined before he'll fuck
also,
women.
Hold on. I don't appreciate you commenting on what I appreciate in the bedroom. It's none of your business. Now, granted, I've told you and I now feel like that was a huge mistake. But yeah, I'm a let's get down to business man.
Right.
Like
you are a guy who has never even attempted foreplay.
Whoa. Okay. Crossed wires. This is not what I'm saying. Tim,
Ladies, Garrett, not into foreplay.
No, please stop saying that. 1, you have no basis. 2, why would you know? And 3, I'm the king of foreplay right here. I
Garrett
equal
Harvey,
measure, Tim.
Only into foreplay.
That's right. Only into foreplay. Oh, not true.
Yeah.
Not flattering. Can we keep all of that out of the IUC?
No. You got to have one or the other. It's all either.
Oh, okay. I'll take only into foreplay.
No. Okay,
well, song continues. Night is young, so are we. Let's get to know each other better, slow and easily. Take my hand, let's hit the floor. Shake your body to the music, maybe then you'll score.
He's giving them false hope.
Oh, okay. This is perfect because I didn't write this down. I wasn't sure if I was going to pull this out of my back pocket, but I got to say that there is a chance, Tim, that you and I can flip the script on this entire song to where it makes a lot more sense. Just as you said, he's giving her false hope. He has no intention of sleeping with this woman. We all know that. The night is young, so are we. Let's get to know each other better. Let's just slow it down. Now, I could argue hitting the dance floor is a nice way to get your body to, grinding on each other a good amount of not foreplay. It's not dry humping is more aggressive than dancing, but a good chance to see if you guys move well together. But Tim, let's just forget everything you know about this and say for a moment he's not singing to the ladies.
Oh,
he's singing to the fellas.
Oh.
We know he's an openly gay man. He's singing to the fellas, and suddenly this makes a lot more sense because you got to imagine in a situation of only men, there's no breaks. There's nobody out there saying, "Hey, maybe we should just get to know each other for just a bit." Oh no, more bacchanalia of.
I don't know that that's true.
Okay.
I feel like you're making a lot of assumptions about the gay community and our gay listeners that is maybe not backed up by the scientific evidence.
It's not. I will say openly, these are just presumptions I have made, not backed up by scientific fact, anecdotal, and potentially even offensive. Not my intention. My intention is I know how much more sexually focused myself and my male friends tend to be, and in a situation where it's all men, it seems like there would be less voices of reason.
Okay, so you were saying that were you to be a gay man,
man.
Hold on. You would just go through that dick. You would say, okay, they want it. I know because I obviously want it. We both want dick. Let's just skip that foreplay. I'm Garrett, hate foreplay. Let's just get to that dick. So you are the sort of person that Jermaine might be singing to. The sort of person who just cannot stay away from that disco stick.
If I were a gay man, yes. So let's just go ahead and apply it to the real world. In this case, Tim, yes, like I am very much driven by my biological instincts. I am a hips forward man.
I know it is uncomfortable to hug you.
No, it's uncomfortable to hug you. We can't both be hips forward. That's just a downstairs high five. That's horrible with you. Well, I mean, one of us has to back off. You greet hips with hips.
I don't back down from a hug, friend.
That's in conversation. Okay, we're getting way far afield of the song.
I know. I feel like we're being offensive. The point is that
are we though?
When you're speaking on behalf of the gay community, you are not speaking on behalf of the gay community. You're just saying that you, Garrett Harvey, were you to be a gay man, this is how sexually aggressive you would be towards men.
It is how I would imagine the gay community to be towards me.
This is, okay, if were you...
There it is.
No, because you're putting this on other people. Were you to be a gay man, I need you to follow me on this.
Okay.
You would be sexually aggressive, like a Spaniard, right? You would be as aggressive as a Spaniard.
Wow. Maybe diet Spaniard, but yes, we're pretty much saying the same thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
or a Brazilian.
So you're saying that...
That's ridiculous.
This is the song that would have to be sung to you were you a gay man in 1986 and not an 18-year-old boy working in a steel mill in North Fort Worth.
6-year-old. Boy, there's a lot of ifs and maybes in here. What if I just said yes and we can move on?
Cool.
Yeah.
Somebody
I think...
out there get to painting. You guys like drawing stuff?
No. God, no. Anyway, all I can say, Tim, is my libido would know no bounds.
Were you to be a gay man, you would be very active.
I don't think I'm just coming out right at all.
I'm asking because I want to
you're
know
just trying
where
to understand.
you're coming from. Right.
I appreciate your deep thirst to understand this.
Yeah, you would have to be held back even to the point where you would dance with somebody because you would already your pants would be off. You would treat all men like just a piece of meat.
No, God, no.
But
maybe.
Yes,
a little yes. In my 20s, maybe. I don't know. Listen, I think we've really pinned in this hypothetical to the point where I could say confidently, never mind. No. But I do think men are more aggressive on a whole than women in general.
And
so if he was singing this song to men, this song would make more sense to me.
Especially a Spanish man.
Well, yeah, obviously. It doesn't need to be said. They're swarthy, they're tricky, and they don't necessarily thing.
It's that Mediterranean sun in today's world. Absolutely.
Oh, in today's world. Sure. I said historically in the past.
Oh, yeah. All right.
Right,
so anyway,
right,
pre-chorus. Yeah. So come on, baby. Won't you show some class why you want to move so fast? And I think this is perfectly in with your classless pursuit of that disco stick that we were discussing just seconds ago.
I feel like you have not really understood my hypothetical. I'm not going to try to figure it out with you because I feel like
I think we should just keep diving deeper into it and just move on as if I did understand.
The further we go, the worse it seems to get for me. But what I do want to say, Tim, is shots fired. To call someone classless, that's akin to, usually that's followed with whore. You classless whore. That's akin to calling her a whore, I think.
Well, that's
or him,
nice.
or a man.
Right, but again, you're saying that if the gay community acted as you would in a given situation,
it'd be classless.
It would be classless.
Yeah, in either way, really.
You would be a man whore.
Okay, well now we're in an interesting situation because in today's society, that would be slut shaming. We wouldn't do that.
Well, sure. I'm just saying that what you're saying is that you would just be giving it away for free to anyone that asked.
I mean, when I was single, I was attempting to do that. Right. So lonely.
Just no takers,
so
right?
No takers. So if there were takers, probably because I was giving it away, Tim. Giving it away.
Right.
And it was not very appealing.
No, you were for how small you were, you had so much body hair.
Like a little Brillo. Little Brill.
Yeah, that did cross country, but like too much. Way
too much. Yeah. And then I grew, but kept doing the cross country. So I was 6 feet tall, but 138 pounds.
Gross.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm the same height today, and I weigh 181 pounds.
And all of it almost is in your shoulder.
I have 50 pounds of shoulder meat.
A lot. I mean, almost.
That's ridiculous. 25 tops.
All right.
Anyway, this is ridiculous. Let's get to the chorus. We don't have to take our clothes off to have a good time. Oh no. We could dance and party all night and drink some cherry wine. We don't have to take our clothes off. No, to have a good time. Oh no. We could dance and party all night and drink some cherry wine.
Na.
Well, hold on. We'll get there in a second. That's not how it goes. No, that is not how it goes. Stop it. Okay. That is not how it goes. We'll get to the nas in a moment. Let's talk about this chorus. First of all, I think this is more of a catch-all, as he said, for the careless or, as I like to say, fun lifestyle.
Right. The lifestyle where you just sort of give yourself to anyone. Just let those...
Not anyone.
Let those 80s men just do what they want.
Go-go's 80 lifestyle. Sure. No.
They will not be forgiving.
Yeah, that's true. This is probably pretty good advice. Maybe he didn't take his own advice to heart.
Oh, dear. No, see, this is where it gets
said
dark.
That.
Come on.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Could have been a blood
become sad.
transfusion. We don't know.
Could have been. Wasn't. Definitely wasn't. You know that, right? Yeah. Anyway, maybe that's why. Nope. God damn you. Do not lead me down this path. We're going to move around the really shitty jokes. Get back to the song. Let's talk about the song. He wants to dance and party all night. Maybe he's a raging alcoholic. He's drinking cherry wine. That's probably the cheapest wine you could purchase.
Yeah, but it also seems like it's the beginner's wine. You know, it's the wine for people that just don't really like the taste of alcohol.
Cherry wine. I can't honestly say I've ever had cherry wine. Have you?
No, maybe.
No,
I drank a lot of various wines.
I've had Grand Marnier liqueur, but that's not a cherry wine.
No, that's orange.
Yeah, I couldn't remember. I just drank it.
You shouldn't drink Grand Marnier by itself. Yeah.
Straight. Watch me chug this Grand Marnier. That's almost as bad as cherry wine. Maybe worse. So, as you said, sure. I gotta say, Tim, as a formerly sad and lonely young man who was in fact looking to take his clothes off to have a good time, this is dangerous advice. This is false advertising. As far as I know, most men, and you were a young man at one time, you didn't agree with this sentiment, right?
Well, sure, and it's more than that, Garrett. It's because, look, I think what he's saying is there's other things to do other than sex, right? You could play pool, you could have some cherry wine, you could hang out with the fellas. Here's where I think he's wrong. All those things are fun. They're all great alternatives to being sexually active, but wouldn't they be more fun if you were also naked?
Yes.
Right.
Naked equals more fun.
Right.
And this is a tricky part of the show for me because I need to simultaneously make it really clear that, as you just stated, all that stuff, way more fun naked. But at the same time, with somebody you want to be like sexually active with. So like buddies, bros, roommates, podcast co-hosts, not more fun.
Well, I think really what you're saying is that the true danger comes in, as we discussed, I believe, last week.
When Tim enters the room.
Cooking. Or just,
Sure. Not all things are more fun.
Here's the thing. In our living room, in our kitchen, I very frequently will leave cabinets open. I think that if you are constantly naked, probably the worst part about you being constantly naked in my presence would be you snagging your scrotum on like cabinets and stuff.
I think it would be the eye contact or lack thereof. That's what I think what I would hate the most. Up here, Tim. Up here. But, I'm putting myself into the shoes of a single man out there trying to meet the ladies. This is not the sentiment that I would agree with. If there was a woman out there who came in immediately and took her clothes off and wanted to use me as a piece of meat for her sexual dalliance, a veritable living sex toy, I'm not here to say, hey, you need to get to know me better and stimulate my brain first. Like that's not what we're saying, right? Nobody's saying that.
We're saying no. That's what he's saying because again, he's got a bunch of Garretts after him.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. Yes. Now we get it.
Right. You are so sexually aggressive that Jermaine Stewart had to sing a song about it.
Okay, you know what? Sure. We'll say we agree. Now, before you start fucking this up again, let me get out the next part. Rather than sing the chorus again, they replace the chorus with Nas, if I may. Na 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 na. As you can see, same cadence, rhythm, syllables as the song you just heard, replaced entirely with Nas. Why? I don't know. Does it work? Kinda.
Goddamn does it ever.
I really like the positivity you're bringing to this song for once. I thought you might have taken it super negative, and of course we are walking a tightrope to not be insensitive to somebody who lost their life sooner than they ever should have in tragic circumstances. In today's world, that man would have been alive to bring us more downer songs about not having fun.
Yes, and again, from everything we can tell, very nice man.
Seemed like a really great guy. Okay, after the na-na-na-na-nas, we get another verse. He says, just slow down if you want me. A man wants to be approached cool and romantically. I've got needs, just like you. Give me conversations, good vibrations, through and through. This is misinformation. It's dangerous to put it into the community. And here's where I'm going to try to meet him halfway. It is not always the best approach to seem too desperate. Like, you don't want to be too forthcoming.
Yeah, you don't want to seem too horny for that conversation, is what you're saying. You want to seem like you're down for whatever.
No, what I'm saying is, okay, so there's two scenarios here. Let's pretend for a moment you're at the bar and a gorgeous, for the purposes of our listener, because we have a wide swath of listeners, the most attractive person you can imagine is in that bar, and you're like, oh, wow, that person is very hot. And then they come up to you and they're just like, hey, so we could hang out and I could buy you a drink or whatever, or we could just leave and we could just fuck the shit out of each other and then never talk again. What do you think? Most people listening, if they're picturing a very attractive person to them, keeping it nice and generic so you got whatever you're into in your mind, most people are going to say yes, right?
Probably.
Right. Okay. So
it depends. Are they playing the long game? Is this they trying to long con this person?
Like for organs, or what do you mean?
No. For like a relationship, you know.
Yeah, but they were upfront and they said, hey, I just want to have sex tonight, never see each other again.
Not Jermaine.
Jermaine's going to say, no, thank you. We don't have to take our clothes off. If you'd like to come home and watch a movie, we could do that. And that's not a euphemism. We're going to be on separate chairs.
Yeah, this is not a song for you. I don't know why you don't hate this song.
It's catchy as fuck.
I know, but do you ever think that maybe the women in your life, when you were a younger, singler man, perhaps
they got the wrong message.
Song, and so they were abiding by the words of Jermaine, and that's why you aren't getting to do your gross little filthy thing on them.
Oh, come on, man. Don't make me sound like Francis Dollarhide.
Sorry. They wouldn't let you open your beautiful flower upon them.
Thank you.
Jesus Christ.
Upon them.
Within them. Whatever.
It's so much worse. But it's 100% accurate. I can't tell you how many times. I mean, I assume you were just like this in high school. Maybe not just like this. That was pretty ridiculous. But like I had mixed CDs and they were a combination of like songs I liked, but none of them were like romantic or mood music. They were mostly really loud and terrible, but interspliced I'd have like Simpsons clips and Christopher Walken talking. And I can tell you on at least two occasions, one was really soul crushing. This girl I had a huge crush on in high school. We were at a party. And I was like, oh, I got to go in like 20 minutes. And she was like, oh, I'll walk you to your car. And I was like, no, I still got 20 minutes. And she was like, I'll walk you to your car. And I was like, oh, okay. Clearly down to clown. And I get in the car and I was like, oh, I just got this new CD you have to hear. And this girl trying desperately to save the mood can already tell that I am ruining it. Is like, oh, is it Dave Matthews? Because it's, the late 90s and that would be appropriate. No, it's Vanilla Ice. It's technically Vanilla Ice and MC Hammer. It's their greatest hits combined on one single album, but that I purchased, didn't make it at home. That's what I play. Kills the mood. She's like, oh. And as I'm singing along to Ice Ice Baby, she gets out of the car.
Well, that's
Tim, you're pretty spot on. That's exactly what's going on here. So let's continue. Then he stomps down, and this is not in the radio edit. He says, yes, I want your body, and we don't have to rush the affair. So you say you want to taste my wine? Not yet. Giggle is in the song.
Is
not
it
my
possible that this whole thing is him just trying to play hard to get? Like this is him trying to be sexy? Okay.
It's a con. Total con. Yep. Because I think this whole time, the dancing, the get to know you, all just like it's a soft neg.
Maybe this guy just loves the edge.
I was going to try to avoid it. We'd recently talked about ultimate edging or mega edging, as you call it. I wish you wouldn't.
I don't think that's true.
Medging. What are you doing? Just getting a good medge on day 2.
I'm uncomfortable.
We all should be. Yeah, he could be super into the lead up, the foreplay, the psychological warfare leading up to the big release, never quite getting there. But I think it's a big con. I think this is all just playing hard to get. And then finally, when he's got them just dying to take their clothes off, he's like, all right, because he says, I want your body. So he's not asexual. He wants it to happen, but he wants to get to know you.
But the other possibility here might be that he's saying, he's throwing that out there. He's leaving them a little bit of hope. He's saying, yeah, I want your body, but like we, just take it slow. And then eventually we'll both fall asleep and it'll be morning, and no one ever has sex in the daylight. So yeah, you have to leave then.
I'll be nice and safe. I mean, let's see here. After the poem / bridge / whatever that is, we get a chorus, then a chorus of Nas, then the chorus again, posing as an outro, which is mostly just the chorus with a few extra cherry wine uh-huhs thrown in for good measure.
Yep.
Anything else you want to say about the song? I definitely want to ask you this, Tim. Is it sexy?
Again, I think you throw in that Randy Jackson bit. I think it's a little sexy. It's not arousing.
Just the fact that Randy Jackson's on it?
No. His music is always sexual. Sexy. Sensual.
I see.
Listen, it's not, I want to be real clear. This is not arousing, but it is sexy.
Maybe somebody who's into irony sex likes to put this on to bang too.
Gross. That is when you find out. That's irony sex is like the time you just have to stop being a hipster, right?
Yeah, maybe. Like you're not into whips and chains and leather, but like it's really like you're doing it ironically. That's not good. Ironic pony play, ironic pup play.
What?
Pup play.
Pup?
Yeah, like a big leather mask to make you look like a dog with
I'm out.
a tail you're shoving the
maybe
pooper.
Okay, here's what we got. So
I thought we talked about pup
this
play.
woman comes over and he is super into her. He wants to do this. Here's the thing. She turns around and she's got whatever the fuck you just described on her face. And he's just like, listen, we're going to get to it, but like maybe let's watch a movie first. Maybe, or
do anything that isn't that.
Right. Yeah. It's just, she has come up with some sort of weird fetish that he is just like out on.
Absolutely. And we've had at least one good friend. We won't say his name. I think you know this story. He was dating a real lunatic. Now, in her defense, he was also a real lunatic, our buddy the Buse. And she brought this like catalog over one day, and it looked like an equestrian catalog. And he's like, what are you looking at? You don't have a fucking horse. And she's like, oh no, it's not for horses. And so she like flips to a dog-eared page and it's like, hey, what do you think of this? And this on the page is a bunch of like human saddles.
Yeah.
And riding crops for people.
Yes.
Which I think is just a smaller riding crop. I don't know. That's the little whip thing, right?
Yes, it is. Of course. Yeah. And I mean, I'd assume you'd want to wear the boots. That's almost the entire reason to be into equestrianism.
Anyway, not acknowledging what you said at all. Unfortunately, and I 100% believe this. I wasn't there. He told me the story, but this is his reaction to this moment. She goes, "What do you think of that? You think you'd get into that?" And he goes, "No, not at all. Oh my God, are you joking? That's the God, no." And she began weeping openly.
As one would, yeah.
And cut to several months later, she bought a saddle anyway and was like, would you put this on me? And he was like, no, absolutely not.
Here's the thing. That is what he said. I think he probably tried it at least once.
He tried some pieces and parts. Okay. Not the saddle, as I understand it. But in any event, that guy was a lunatic, so maybe. But just we're open-minded here on the show. I'm not going to kink shame. I don't even know if that's a kink. Probably. It's not traditional, we'll say that.
It's not kinky. Go on.
Sounds like you're into it. And I got to say, the phrase human saddle is where I'm out. That's alarming.
I assume you'd call it like, because you'd say it so often, you'd probably have some way of shortening it. A humsad or something.
You probably just call it a saddle, because in the context, what's going on a person. You probably don't even want to acknowledge. You probably don't even want to acknowledge like the human piece because you're really trying to get to that horse bit. But the pup play, Tim, they have big, intricate leather masks that make them look like dogs. It's terrifying.
Huh.
Yeah.
Why leather?
I'll show you later. I don't know.
Wouldn't you want to just cut the head off a stuffed animal, hollow that thing out and jam that on your head so it's fuzzy like a dog? You know what? Stick with leather. I'm actually less intimidated by that.
Fantastic. That brings us to the music video. I'll just start talking. Feel free to interrupt me. How's that sound?
Sure.
So we start with a close-up on the Arista record label, and as we slowly pan out, we realize it's a single for the album, and a woman starts the record. Then we see the band all on a single white stage dancing, and Jermaine is up front, and we got to describe Jermaine. We haven't really described him up to this point. He has really long, straight hair, and he's wearing a white bowler hat in this instance.
Yeah, it's really hard to describe.
Well, he looks a little like Samuel L. Jackson in, what's that movie?
Jurassic Park.
Nope. The one where he has long hair.
Jackie Brown.
Yeah, a little like Samuel L. Jackson and Jackie Brown, but also a little like...
He looks a little like Prince. He looks a little like Michael Jackson. He's got a wide variety of looks. There's a lot going on.
Oh, yeah. Oh, we're going to talk about all the costume changes. I wrote them down. His dancing style, very Michael Jackson influenced.
Yes.
A lot of leg kicks, all that business, a lot of spinning about. His backup band, do you think, Tim, on that stage, any of those musicians are musicians, or are they all just backup dancers?
I think the trumpet players might be.
Might be musicians?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't. I think of everybody on the stage. They're definitely not.
Oh, okay. I don't know what it looks like to play the trumpet.
That's clear. And that's weird, because didn't you... Oh, no, you were a...
I was a saxophonist.
Saxophonist.
God, I hate that instrument.
Sexy sax man. Sexy sax Tim.
Yeah.
Anyway, so continuing on, we see a woman in the foreground. And let's talk about what I mean by foreground, because it's very important if you want to picture the music video. It is as though there's a green screen playing the music video, which is the band performing the song on a stage. And then there's a woman in the foreground, aka standing in front of the green screen, doing the things I'm about to describe. Is that accurate?
Yeah. It's
She's not in the same room.
She has accidentally wandered onto the set and is just walking by the camera.
Oh, see, I think it's even more ridiculous. I think it's as though she has walked into the projection room where the music video is playing and has stepped in front of a projection of it, because I don't think they're in the same room. Anyway, either way, same room or different, let's talk about it. We see this woman in the foreground. She begins taking her clothes off as the song suggests, and when we get to the skinny dipping line, a giant bucket of water is thrown at her face from off camera, and it doesn't play well. You can tell she's shocked. It's cold. She didn't realize it was going to be that much, and she just tries as much as she can to smile and look pretty. It's good stuff. About a third of the way in, we have our first costume change, and it's pretty much the same setup, but now it's new clothes for everybody. And one of those outfits is a beret vest combo. I'm a big fan of that look. We do see the three women playing trumpet in the background. I noted that they probably are just there to look pretty, but I could be wrong. Maybe Tim's right. They play trumpet. Little halfway through, I lose the thread a little bit. He tells her that they have to have some class, and she's putting on lipstick while wearing like a graduation cap and gown.
That's classy.
Listen,
if you ever want to, like, let's say for our younger listeners, let's say you've got you've begun dating a young lady or a young gentleman, and you're gonna meet their parents for the first time. It's often very nerve-wracking. You don't know what to wear. You don't know how to act. You want to make your best impression. Wear a graduation cap and gown.
Tell them you just graduated.
No. It's for the class. This is what I wear.
This is my formal wear.
It's like you're an Italian professor in like the 1600s.
This is bad advice.
This is great advice.
Nobody owns one of those. You have to rent it.
Do you not?
I don't own a cap and gown. No, I do not.
I think I might have stolen mine.
Yeah, I think you were supposed to return that. Anyway, we do occasionally see a splash of cherry wine being poured into a crystal glass, not really in any context other than here's some of that cherry wine you heard so much about. Couple more costume changes. He tells her, let's see. Then we see Air. Suddenly the same woman that we saw earlier in the graduation cap and gown is wearing a black trench coat, and Air blows up the trench coat to reveal her in lingerie. I don't know why.
Pretty classy, though.
I don't think so. By now, Jermaine is in a white suit with tails and an animal print accent. He looks great.
Yeah, we should say that. He looks weird, but he looks great.
Yeah, he does look unconventional, but I'm into it. Then we get a lot of shots of cherries being thrown into a crystal glass. I don't know if that was supposed to be sexual innuendo.
In my experience, that's not how it's done. Again, I have very relatively limited experience, obviously. I haven't experienced the full range of human sexuality that's out there, but it's never been this.
Yeah, somebody's probably putting their cherries in a big glass. I don't know. Back to the beret and vest combo for the last 30 seconds of the song, and then we get Jermaine in the foreground where our woman has been appearing the entire time, only now we see arms that I think are supposed to be her but are definitely not her, grabbing at him and pulling him off screen to be sexed, and eventually he does give in, is pulled off camera, and we are done.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Tim, how did this do?
Pretty well. It hit number 5 in the US, number 37 in Australia, number 2 in Canada, number 91 in France, number 4 in Ireland, number 27 in New Zealand, number 2 in the UK, and number 7 in the Dutch. It has also apparently sold more than 1 million copies worldwide.
Wow. What did people think of it?
Well, Garrett, I have some good news for you. We have a Robert Christgau review. Would you like to play the Robert Christgau game?
Wow, on a Prepisode, you bet I would.
The Robert Christgau game.
The Robert Christgau game is I will read a review by noted crazy person Robert Christgau. Now, his review may or may not have anything to do with the song or album, and then his grade may or may not have anything to do with either the album or the song or the review. So I will read the review, and then Garrett's going to guess what the grade is.
Let's do it, Timmy.
Here's one princeling who's smart enough to know that the only way to bring off simpering high-life bullshit is flamboyantly, and that's exactly as far as his smarts go. I'm not a piece of meat. Stimulate my brain. Very funny, so buy the single because he didn't write it. Without Aretha, meanwhile, Naranda Michael Walden is just another Sri Shimone disciple, albeit one who dabbles in S&M jokes. Garrett, what does Robert Christgau think of this?
I mean, it sounds like he really hates it.
Or loves it.
To my ear, it sounded very negative. I'm going to give it a B-.
C+.
I was certain it was a D. Okay. God, I love that game. Well done, Mr. Christgau. Any other reviews for us, Timberly?
Well, there are 65 total ratings on Amazon, 4.8 out of 5 stars on average, 89% 5-star, 2% 1-star. However, nothing really of note. But, Garrett, I did go through hundreds, if not thousands, of the craziest YouTube comments you've ever heard to bring you the absolute best.
Oh, God.
Nikki Vinson from 1 year ago. The best message ever. Be cute, be fabulous. You don't have to give in to peer pressure. You can go home unpregnant, unoverdosed, undiseased, unused, and happy. Thank you, Jermaine Stewart, for leaving this video to share with this generation. There's also a ton of emojis in there.
Okay, I mean, I don't disagree with that sentiment. That's not so bad.
Brian Burton. Whether he was gay doesn't matter. This is one of the coolest songs of all time.
Okay, I agree with that as well. Doesn't really matter. It's a good song. I like it.
All right.
Tim, these aren't bad.
Heidi Smith, 2 months ago. I lost my husband of 35 years. Today. Decided to comment on this song. I lost my husband of 35 years today. This was one of our favorite songs back in the mid-'80s when we first met. Been trawling through YouTube tonight trying to relive those happy times. This did the trick. To which Militant Madness responded, "Don't worry, he's happy that it makes you happy, reminiscing those memories. Trust me, he knows this. The soul never dies."
Everybody here means well, but oh my fucking God. Like, is this society? Is this America?
Yes, YouTube comments. It's almost entirely this. The angrier one said, "My first girlfriend told me this was our song because I was always trying to get in her pants. We were 13 in 1986. LOL."
Oh,
they were both 13. Garrett.
Sure, I don't care. Listen, when I was what's 8th grade? Is that 8th grade? Okay, yeah. Oof, that's right on the cusp. At least for me, I was barely interested in pants stuff. It was still mostly...
You're pretty into pants stuff.
Okay,
Martin...
correction. I was into pants stuff. I don't think anybody was into pants stuff with me by that point.
Oh, sure.
We were still
that
doing
would continue
shirt stuff.
For years.
8 more years. No. I mean, it was just really, really sparse.
Yeah. Marion V. Britton III, 5 months ago. I love this classic. Jermaine Stewart proved a valid point. Yes, some of us men don't just want instant sex from a woman. Ladies shoe emoji. We like fun, laughter, romance, and foreplay as well. And YouTube notes that this was an edited review. So perhaps he wrote that and then it was just like, that could really use a lady shoe emoji.
I think it was edited after he said, "Some of us want you to stomp on our testicles first, lady shoe emoji." And he was like, you know what? I think it's more of a if you know situation. Let me take that overt reference to testicle stomping out.
Let's see. Pell B, 5 months ago. I loved this song as a young kid. It's so sad to read how he died of AIDS-related cancer, and it took 17 years to get him a headstone. So sad. Rest in power, Jermaine. And then in parentheses here it says, also, rumor had it he had a relationship with Magic Johnson. ...
Oh my God. That's the last one.
No, we maybe have one more.
It better be better than accusing this guy of having a secret relationship with Magic Johnson.
I got one. This is Kathy's Damn Good Song, 7 months ago. I love this song. It has such good memories. Although I never met a man who thought the clothes didn't need to come off eventually. Yeah, they do. It is a cute thought anyway. LOL. That's when you know you've got them scared and on the run when they hit the brakes. What? LOL.
Wait, back up. Back up. Slow down. Hold on. Go back. 2 sentences.
That's when you know you've got them scared and on the run when they hit the brakes. LOL. It's when she's being too forward and the men are scared of her. They're scared of her raw sexuality, you see.
I see. Okay, good. I thought he was saying when women say no, that's when you know you got them scared and on the run. It's just like, you're breezing over this. For some reason.
It reminds me of my running buds from Canute, Oklahoma in the mid-'80s. We went to cosmetology school together. Damn, that was fun. It took me 19 months to finish a 9-month course. I was too busy out having fun to show up at 8 a.m. in Clinton, 30 miles away, every morning. They literally threw me a party for my first and only 40-hour week I managed to snag. Good times. Running around in my Bronco 2, drinking Mad Dog 2020 with Sprite, dancing on the bar at the Pay Zone Club in Elk City, getting Indian dark tanned and drunk drinking cowboy Kool-Aid at Foss Lake during the day, chasing dudes at night. All right, hold on. Chasing dudes at night. One particular pretty boy in Canute, light, skin-tight, button-fly Levi's, and long whore red nails come to mind. LOL. Getting caught skinny dipping at the country club with a certain set of brothers. Crap, if I'd known shit was gonna go south, I'd have walked around naked all the damn time. Oh, damn. That was all just too much fun. Kathy's damn good song. Kathy, you sound like a fun lady.
You know what? I'm gonna say it right here, Tim. You can forget everything I said. Forget every word of it. If Kathy came at me, I'd be like, we don't have to take our clothes off to have a good time. Yeah. Jesus Christ, here comes Kathy.
She's terrifying.
We're going to take our clothes off, young man. Fuck.
Yep.
Tim, don't leave me alone with Kathy. You guys have fun.
She's going to take you down to that lake. She's going to take you to that Possum Kingdom lake, Garrett.
Oh my God. Behind the boathouse. I want to see her dark secret.
Yeah.
God, I love that album. Anyway, great reviews, Tim. Glad you pushed for the last one. Who's this for?
I think this is for anyone considering what I think the kids are calling hooking up. Here's the thing. Kids, don't hook up. Guard your genitals. Get something out of it first. It doesn't have to be monetary, but at least some nice foreplay, maybe a nice dinner, something classy, the kind of thing where you get to pick between chicken or fish like you're some sort of high roller in Vegas.
You've never had money in your life, have you?
No, I've always lived here.
Fascinating.
Oftentimes I try to sneak back in line for the fish if I already had the chicken, or vice versa.
What are you talking about?
So poor, Garrett.
Sounds like a soup kitchen. Anyway, Jesus Christ. What are you doing with your allowance? Clearly not buying food. Suspiciously quiet.
Buying grenades on the internet from who I now realize to be you.
Oh, is that who I financed? Yeah. Is it just you? Are you just my Roger?
No.
Shit, this company's Tim, isn't it? Anyway, technically I own the company, I guess. All right, final thoughts for me. You don't have to take your clothes off. And if you're dealing with a Kathy of your own, for sure don't, if you can help it, although you may not have a say. And however, while you don't have to take your clothes off to have a good time, chances are, if it's somebody you are romantically interested in, you will ultimately have a better time if you take your clothes off.
Right, as long as it's not like some sort of bacon cooking situation.
Oh, sure, use your common sense. Nothing hot. I mean, unless that's what you're into. We're not here to kink shame. If you want to sear your genitals with bacon grease, I guess that's up to you. I wouldn't.
Yeah, probably
Tim
not. Let's not do that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I wouldn't do it. But if you want to, it's America, Tim. They can. Consenting adults.
All right, Garrett.
It was a weird way to go out.
Yeah. Do you hate this song?
Heavens no. No. Good song. I still like it. It's sexier than I thought.
It is.
I'm getting more on board with this intellectual connection, not just slamming your bits together. Might be a convert here, Tim. What about you? Do you hate this song?
Nope.
Glad to hear it. That brings us to listener mail, and boy, howdy, we got some good ones this week. So I'll ask it, Timmy. Do you want to go first? Or do you want me to?
Well, of course, I want to go first, Garrett.
Okay, go right on ahead.
My email is from Danger Dave.
Good. That was one of mine. That's a good one.
Danger Dave.
Yes.
I
only read the first sentence.
Okay. I really hate how society has changed in the last 50 years. We men used to wear whatever cool hats we fucking wanted to our various manly jobs, like ranching or being a police officer. But now, unless it's cold outside, some ass-headed moron is going to say something stupid like, why are you wearing a hat? You look like an old person. Because I want to, asshole. Think I'm wrong? When's the last time you saw a chef wearing a hat? They make them wear hairnets now. Nets? Really? Lee makes me fucking sick. I predict in the next 12 years or less, we won't even have graduation hats anymore. All because some bullshit about getting hit in the head or too many grad hats being in landfills or something. People talk a lot about the demanification of the Western world, but no one seems to be talking about the core tenet of manliness that is wearing cool hats. For instance, think about cowboys. What would a cowboy be without his hat? He's basically just a boy, isn't he? And that's what they want. Bands like these men without hats guys are a big part of the problem, and I was very disappointed when I learned that Garrett, the old one of the podcast, was a fan of these cucks. Then again, what can you expect from a guy who wears beanies? However, I think there's still hope for Tim, as he is a good Christian conservative that believes in men's rights. I don't care for that. Ending. Good job, Tim. I agree with most of this.
Yeah, I think he's mostly correct. What's wrong with beanies? I have beanies. I wear beanies. Not just beanies. I have hats, too.
Well, we wear them in New York because it's fucking cold.
It's fucking cold. I wear them in New York. I wear them in New Mexico. I wear them, where it's fucking cold.
When are you going to New Mexico?
Me and Tom Rady went. Remember?
No, I don't.
I guess I lied to you.
Fair enough.
I went to New Mexico with Tom. Yeah, there's photos. I'll put photos online. It was a great trip. It was a while ago.
Was it on a Sunday?
While ago. No, I don't know. We were gone a bit. I'm sure I lied to you, which told us we were at a conference or something. You don't know what I do.
Fair enough. Garrett, do you have some sort of awesome hat-related email that kind of insults you a little bit?
Kinda. I don't know. Maybe. I only read the first sentence in the title, so we'll see. Great email, Timmy. This email is from Anonymous. It is titled, "You Can't Fuck in a Honda Civic."
So let me rephrase, because that's not true. What you just said is not true. This email is not from Anonymous. This email, because this was the other one I copied down, is from You Can't Fuck in a Honda Civic.
Fantastic. It reads, "Hello, Gart and Timbinator." Timbinator.
Man.
What is that? Like Terminator?
Yeah, but
why wouldn't it be Timinator?
So
Why Timbinator?
that's the aider, right? So there's Tim, there's Bone, and there's aider.
What's the bone part?
Bonin, I assume. Unclear.
Hello, Gart and Timbonator. I just finished listening to the episode on Same Old Lang Syne by that guy I don't know and refuse to learn of his existence because I've lived 22 years on this earth and have never heard of him, and I'm better off for it. You frequently talked about him and a lady banging in a Honda Civic. We also, Tim, to be clear, we talked about him banging in a Chrysler LeBaron, so...
But also a Honda Civic.
Sure, we did.
Yeah.
Anyway, as a not-so-proud owner of a Honda Civic, I can assure you, you cannot bang in these things. They're not spacious cars.
That's untrue. You can't bang well.
Yeah, it's going to be unpleasant for one or both of you.
Get the job done.
Wow. Don't ever say that to anyone.
It's not going to be great foreplay. It is. Go.
Even the hand stuff would be awkward because of the side and layout. I don't know what they mean by the side and layout. Side?
Unclear.
Are you a lefty? Is that what you mean? Anyway, the back seat is just so small, it's not an option, especially if it's a two-door Civic. Well, nobody said there was. Also, don't buy a two-door Civic. Maybe a newer Civic hatchback could work, but I'm not sure because I was too broke when I got mine to get one of those. So, therefore, I believe it was an emotional affair that took place because you really can't do anything else in these fucking cars. Anyways, I'd love it if you guys did an episode on either sports or Return to Monk. Ooh, sports. By the Swedish band Viagra Boys. I don't know that song. Or that album. P.S. I wrote in months ago and said I borrowed some interns. Well, I kind of forgot that I had them locked away, and there's about a dozen left, which is only about 20% of what I originally borrowed. There's no trace of the missing ones, and the ones that remain have made their own language, which I cannot understand. And they have eaten their own feet. Oh. They were kind of stinky, so I just let them loose in the neighborhood. Someone else's problem now.
I'm sorry, they're running around
mine.
Footless.
Yes, just stumping. Straight stumping. I don't know, maybe he got them all like rolly chairs.
It doesn't sound like he did.
No, it sounds like he kidnapped some people, cut off their feet, and then finally let them go. This guy's terrifying. Great email, anonymous guy. Oh, I'm sorry, you can't fuck in a Honda Civic. I disagree. I'm on Tim's side. You can probably get it done. It's not going to be fun for one or both of you.
Yes.
But, especially if you were to put the seats down in the back there and you got the trunk, you could definitely make that work.
Well, I guess somebody's got a project for the neighborhood after we get done recording.
We're going to have to rent a Civic.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Already done. I knew one of us was going to read this.
Yeah. We're going to have to figure out who's going to fuck in this car. All right. Great email. That brings us to music news of the weird. Pretty sparse this week as it is the holidays, but we do have a few updates. Timmy, do you want to go first? Do you want me to lead things off?
Of course I want to go first. Garrett?
Music news of the weird.
This is from Brennan, who sent me this on Instagram. Apparently, Hollywood has been listening to our show. Not Hollywood exactly, but White Ninja Productions, who is currently casting for a slasher/revenge film set to shoot in Los Angeles in 2023 called, you guessed it, Pancake Man. Go to the image on Backstage.com that they choose to advertise this with, and they got it all wrong. It looks like they tried to sculpt a really racist Yakuza boss's face out of a pancake and then affix it to a person's face. Doesn't look right. But some of the roles you could audition for, were you so inclined. There's Helena, female lead. This is the most vibrant character of the script. Think Patricia Arquette in True Romance, but stronger. She has a sex scene in a shower. She has a crazy shootout scene. She is dressed like she's going to the club. She bad. And then it just sort of continues like this. There's all sorts of, there's Lonnie, the female lead. She is from the hood, so she has that accent. She is way smarter than her man.
God, these character descriptions are racist.
Yes.
And just poorly conceived.
Brent, day player. Brent is a local at a diner. He is pushy and probably has a crush on all the waitresses that work there. He would rather pay you Tuesday for a hamburger today.
Wimpy? That's a Popeye reference?
I think so.
Who
anyway,
wrote this?
Shooting dates are from April to June in Los Angeles in 2023. But here's what I ask. If anyone is interested, if anyone in our listenership is an actor or would like to fuck with these people, please audition. Once you have secured the part and you're on set and the cameras are rolling, just begin screaming about how this was all our podcast idea. Maybe plug the show a little bit.
Yeah, I'm sure that'll make it to the final cut.
Well, it'll at least win over the people on set.
One more idea. Everything Tim said, really good. Rather than begin screaming about lawsuits, though, just try to modify the dialogue to steer it towards what we came up with. So like, oh no, the pancake man's grinding at people, children, and turning them into pancakes. Like, that might not be in the script, but you could say it and they'll be like, hey, that's not in the... Wow, say, that's actually a pretty good idea as opposed to that weird Yakuza pancake man we made.
Actually, I love this idea. What you should try to do is get this movie essentially turned into as much of what we described as possible, and then we'll sue the shit out of them.
That would be amazing if we made our fortune on Pancake Man.
I mean, we always
and
knew
then
we were
get
going to
sued by Kevin Federline.
in.
God, just to meet him, right?
Yeah. Anyway, Garrett, what other pancake-related news do you have for us today?
None. Instead, Tim, I have a breaking update as of about 4 days ago, which will be about 11 days by the time you people hear this. Breaking. Jurors in a Los Angeles Superior Court recently found rapper Tory Lanez guilty on all charges related to the 2020 shooting of fellow rappist and musician Megan Thee Stallion. As first reported here on our show, I believe, Lanez was convicted of all of the charges against him stemming from the incident in which he, no longer allegedly, shot Megan Thee Stallion in the feet, including assault with a firearm, possession of a concealed firearm, and negligent discharge of a gun. He is now awaiting his sentencing, and which is scheduled for January 27th, 2023. Unfortunately, due to the timing of the verdict, Mr. Lanez did face Christmas Day in LA County Jail. He currently faces up to 20 years in prison and the possibility and almost likelihood of deportation.
I think my favorite part of this show is when we get to officially take something off of the alleged list.
Yeah.
That man shot that lady in the feet.
Despicable human being. No longer alleged. Tory Lanez.
Foot shooter.
Do you think that's some sort of weird sex thing? He likes him so much he's got to shoot him?
I don't, do you?
Or he's really bad at aiming?
I don't know.
Some people jerk off to feet. I'm just all I'm saying.
Like that. You know what? Yeah, some people do. It's a thing people do. Some of them.
Yeah, I agree. Are you mocking me?
Nope.
Good. Tim, what other news do you have?
Garrett, in penis news this week, Curtis J. Jackson III, I believe, aka 50 Cent, aka Fitty, is suing Miami-based plastic surgeon Angela Kogan. Now, Dr. Kogan, asked to take a picture with him once, and he said yes. Once she had that photo, she proceeded to plaster that picture of the two of them all over social media and ads for penis enhancement surgery, kind of implying that she gave him a penis enhancement, which, by the way, did you know was a thing? I did. Anyway,
Okay.
it was also used as a feature for an article apparently entitled "Penis Enhancements Are More Popular Than Ever and BBLs Are Dying Out." I don't know what a BBL is, didn't click on the article. Cosmetic surgery CEO Angela Kogan speaks on it, which again doesn't directly say but kind of implies that he had his hog embiggened there. Pretty hilarious. The lawsuit is moving forward. The judge ruled he has standing.
God, yeah, I would agree. That's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
I'd be furious. Or, conversely, everybody thinks you have a huge hug.
That's true.
Embiggening.
Garrett, what other penis news do you have?
None. I have no penis news. In Adidas news, as everyone is probably likely very aware at this point, Adidas has cut ties with Mr. Kanye West, but it's turned out to be a bit of an issue because it has over $500 million worth of the guy's shoes to sell, and his name is no longer on any of them. So we already knew Adidas was planning to move forward with selling the unbranded Yeezys post-split, but now we know that the exact number comes out to $530 million worth of Yeezys sitting in a warehouse somewhere waiting to be bought by nobody. For context, in 2022, Yeezys made Adidas upwards of $1.8 billion, and astoundingly, that only accounted for 7% of Adidas' total profits.
It's a good company.
It's a much bigger company than I realized, but I assume these are going to get shipped off to Indonesia or some other place and sold at wholesale, back from whence they came.
I think you just hang on to them for a little while longer. Kanye may pull this off. He may get back in our good graces. We don't know. Maybe it'll turn out, okay, follow me here. This is not something I believe. This is not something the show believes. What if it turns out that he was right about the he'll be hailed as a hero? Again,
oh my
I don't
God.
think that's going to happen.
Tim,
I'm just saying.
No.
I'm just saying.
We're going to bleep that. We're bleeping that. We can keep the sentence, but at least 2 words are going out.
I'm just saying it's possible.
It's not.
In the infinite multiverse.
Right. In the same way that we might get ruled by ants someday.
Oh, Garrett, I think we might be ruled by ants. Have you read that Stephen King book? It's terrifying. They are going to make us do their bidding. Anyway, what other news do I have for the day? Garrett, in Drake is a creep news, Drake continues to be a creep. He
allegedly.
No, I'm going to say
alleged. At least till the end of the story.
I'm going to say some alleged things later in here. This is not alleged. That guy's a creep. He recently unveiled a custom necklace he had made with 42 diamonds totaling 351.38 carats. Each of those 42 diamonds represent one time he thought about proposing to somebody and then either didn't or maybe got a no. This is embarrassing, and he should be embarrassed by it. Also, how old is he?
Like 40, right?
Well, I don't know, but whatever. Point being, who are these 42 women? He owes us names, first of all. Is it just every woman, allegedly, maybe some kind of young people, that he came into contact with? That he's just in his mind, he briefly fantasized about marrying? Again, as we all know, that's every man's ultimate dream. Just fantasize about standing up at that altar. What is wrong with Drake, Garrett? Is he commemorating failure in some sort of weird humble brag? I don't know why he kept count. I don't know why anyone in the future would accept a marriage proposal for him without at least demanding to own that necklace.
Sure. No, that's fair. I think it's a low-key, I've had sex with 42 women.
Here's the thing. If you'd asked me, has Drake had sex with at least 42 women, I would have said it's probably way higher.
I agree. But I'm beginning to think, and of course, I've never met Drake, so I have no idea. Drake, reach out. Would love an introduction. Get to know each other.
I'm good, by the way. Don't reach out to me. I think you're a creep.
Tim's made it pretty clear. Don't let him color this interaction. What I'm going to say is I don't know him, but based on what I do know about him, he seems sort of like an insufferable creep.
Yeah, he seems like the sort of guy that would inappropriately text message a 14-year-old Millie Bobby Brown when he was 31.
Maybe that's too specific.
Or maybe like allegedly feeling up and kissing an underage girl at a concert and then asking how old she was, and then she says she's 17, and then he kind of tries to sneak a few more kisses in there. Maybe his weird friendship with Chris Brown, his claiming to be in love with Rihanna for his entire life, his dating an 18-year-old at 31, and then it kind of seems like they knew each other for much longer than a year. Super duper allegedly. My point is, fuck that guy.
Wow. Drake, reach out. You know what? The rest of my stories are kind of dumb. Do you have any more that you want to read?
No.
Jesus Christ. Just say something. Great. Then that means we can be done. Tim, what album are we going to be listening to next?
We are going to be listening to Petra, the Christian rock band Petra's album, Petrified, their greatest hits album. Now, we usually don't do greatest hits albums. We've done it, I think, for Jimmy Buffett, Jibu. Yep. We did it for, what's Chris Gaines' alter ego? Troil. Oh. We did it for Troil. But we usually don't do it because it's fun to have an album and how they actually wanted to put them together. But I mean, it's fucking Petra, and we want the best songs. We want their best offerings. Because they also have like 25, maybe more albums. I don't know. It's a lot.
Yeah. So we're just going to take, and I'll just go ahead and assume that this is accurate. I don't know shit about Petra. You too?
Same. Yeah. I have no idea what this is going to be. Excited.
Yeah,
though.
So write in, Christians. Let us know, what are we in for? But until then, that's going to do it for us. So if you can, go to heypod.com. You can click on contact us in the upper left-hand corner, or you can email us directly at heypodmail@gmail.com. You can find our podcast on pretty much all platforms. You're listening to it now, so you know how the internet works. Figure it out. You can contact us on Instagram. That's HatePod. Twitter's Album HatePod. I'm G Harvey Tweets on Twitter if you want to talk to me. Tim is not interested. We've got Discord servers. We've got subreddits. We're on the internet. If you want to reach out to us, reach out to us. And if you can, please give us the 5 stars on Apple Podcasts, or follow, rate, review, subscribe. All those great things make a big difference. For Why I Hate This Album, I have been one of your hosts, Garrett Harvey.
I have been the other, Timothy P. Richardson, and on January 12th, 2015, Garrett Jermaine Harvey said, I was skeptical at first, but yeah, okay, that guy is undead.
Stand by it.
There's cowboys running through my dreams. Nothing's quite the way it seems. I joined the Navy, got kicked out in a week. My facial features aren't distinct. Try to find some meaning in these songs. The genius is a genius, got it wrong. No, it's a lobster murder sex thing. It's the bleaching of the rear. A full assault on both your ears. Riffs are too repetitive, the lyrics make no sense. All the songs are B-sides, the cover art's a mess. Listen to it for a week, now that week has passed. It's the Why I Hate This Album podcast with Tim and Garrett.